You are now listening to News with My Fiance with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones.
We're here. Our voices matter.
You're daggone right.
And we're just going to keep giving them to you.
And not just in March.
Correct.
You know? Because that's what you clowns really think.
What isn't March 9th the day that has something to do with Biggie? Is this, you know what today is?
What?
Shout out to our girl Cicely's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
I feel like now I talk to her once a year and it's on her birthday. Happy birthday, Cicely.
You might want to do a little better.
Oh, obviously. But, like, so should she? I mean,
wow.
I also, too, plus have a birthday.
Okay.
She don't hit me in June.
Ooh.
You know? I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But is it Biggie's birthday? Or is this this is the day Biggie died. Assassination Day.
Yeah.
Apologies for
Yeah,
just throwing that out on us.
March 9th,
Yeah. 1997. Man. It's a long time ago.
It's. I don't want to be reminded about how long ago it is.
But
it's
we can move forward.
30 plus? Oh.
I can't do math in the mornings and don't expect me to.
All right.
And that's the problem with the school system now. Oh.
My face. Also, my math is wrong. Say 26. But
I mean, you know.
You went full right-winger on me just now.
Well, whoa. Okay.
You were heading there. You were heading to Jonah and his math from Veep. You were heading there. You were about to start critiquing math in a way it's un-American. You were right there. See? See? Shout out to everybody to watch Veep.
It's a good one.
It's a good show. It's a daggone good show.
Ambush, it's been a week.
It has.
And it's only Thursday. Good morning to our fiancés. I didn't start the way I needed to, so you probably don't even know what you're listening to. You know? Hi, friends. Hi, family. Hi, fiancés. Happy Thursday. I am a little brain foggy today. I think I needed 7 more hours of sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been helpful. We do have quite a few great stories to get to. And I do just want to mention, because I have, like I said, had a week, and there have been many a conversation, which, you know, with people that I think want to, you know, highlight their observations and frustrations with things happening in the city. But not really not worth it enough to know why the things are happening.
Right.
For them. And so then it's just like this vague hand wringing, and all of a sudden you sounding a whole lot like People for Portland.
Is that what you want?
You sounding like, you know, which way could this go? Tom Hartman or Lars Larson? Which way are you gonna, you know?
You have options.
You have options. But when you don't know what you're talking about, you end up sounding, that's a pretty good segue, you calling me a right winger too. Because that's what you end up sounding like.
Yeah.
And we have to stop that. Like, if you are serious about wanting to see change, be a part of the change, know that it needs to happen, and that, you know, if you've lived here and you're looking around and you're like, this is not the city, I don't recognize, you know, the city I grew up in and that I live in, and where are the people to do things? If the only thing that you're doing is observing that it's different and that someone should do something, you leave that door open for who the someone and what the some things are. We can't be vague about this. And if you don't know why things are happening, you can't be on the road to a proper fix. So, like, don't be out here being unserious.
or seriously uninformed.
Or seriously uninformed.
With a platform.
You could. You have all the access. Everybody that is on a social media site has the access to find out more. To close that app down and hit the Googles.
That's it.
Because if I can't get y'all to sit down and read a physical book, which, that's not everybody's deal.
I'll be trying. Shots fired at me.
Not one. But there are a lot of ways that you can get the gist, a place to start. You need to listen to it. But the whys matter so much more than we're giving it credit. And then we come out here sounding silly. Sounding real silly.
Sounding silly. And then once confronted with the truth that you're not really well versed on this particular matter, you don't seize the opportunity to learn, you become combative.
Right.
And that's not helping anyone.
Not a soul. So anyway, it shuts down the opportunity for folks to learn when it's now we're arguing points that don't matter.
Right. Because what I really was trying to get to,
what it shouldn't do is take a million back and forth for anybody to understand what you were getting to. And the point of me saying any of this is we are in multiple crises. We need all hands on deck. Yeah. But you got to know what you're doing and you got to know why. Yeah. You got to know what you're fighting against. And it can't be vague guesses, observations of, neighborhoods you don't live in, not understanding what capitalism is doing. And every single body has to get okay with the words that they have been told they should be upset about. Capitalism should not hurt your feelings. Okay. Hearing that word.
Bumper sticker. You said something about, all hands on deck. And it's very, very important that everyone understands. Like, we're not saying if you don't know enough, stay out of the fight. No. We're all on different levels in our journey. Different, places in our path to understanding many different topics at the exact same time. And right now, a lot of us are really just coming from our human experience without any secondary knowledge stacked on top of that to understand it. We're just expressing what we're feeling. And that's cool because that too is important. However, facts and data matter when we're trying to have fruitful conversations and solution-oriented conversations. So you do have a responsibility to pick up a book, do some Googling, listen to someone on YouTube that has done the research and can present actual facts to you. It's just really, really important in our discourse. But we're not saying that's like, hey, you, pipe down. You're not qualified. Sometimes you aren't. We're not saying pipe down because you're not qualified. We're saying get qualified.
Right. Well,
pursue the knowledge. Me search.
I was gonna say I would love to. I don't want everybody to run and listen to someone on YouTube if you don't know how to vet that YouTuber and don't know how to vet that information
for facts.
But there are audiobooks. There are people that you can figure out, what their angle is. And that's another thing. It's what those things matter. Who is funding it, why it's being said, what the story is. All those things matter. It can't just be, I like the way this person sounds.
Not to create more work for us, but maybe we need like a preferred viewers club or preferred YouTube viewing list.
Watch list.
Yeah, watch list. Or,
I'm not mad at that.
I do a preferred book club, but I collect the books. I haven't read them. So I'm not going to be like, you know what you need to grab. I heard there's some jams in chapter 4.
Oh, God.
We
got a text message. It says, morning, family.
Hey.
Rudes with the twos.
My man, Rudo.
Good morning, Rudo. It's wonderful to hear from you. See from you. Good morning, Malcolm. Good morning, Crystal. Hey, James.
John. James,
Mhm.
John and James, Regis.
Hey, girl.
What up?
Tomorrow is Jess Morgan's birthday.
Oh, snap. My guy.
So I'm just going to say happy birthday to Jess Morgan right now.
Because we're not on there tomorrow.
Because we're not here tomorrow. I'll send you a text message.
Ayo.
I'm also positive he's not listening to this. But
you never know.
But you know what? It will be a happy birthday nonetheless.
Yeah.
So we have some things
Mm-hmm.
we're going to chat about today. Mayor Ted Wheeler celebrates wasting more of our time and resources with his shoplifting sting operation.
Waste my time all 2023.
And breaking news, Dan Ryan's actual job description was revealed, and it is make people miserable enough so that they quit.
He is knocking it out the park. He needs an evaluation. Yeah. In the national news, Eric Adams says, take it off.
Ow!
This man, there's so many things wrong with him. Mike Huckabee's daughter's coming after your kids. Nepo lady Sarah Huckabee Sanders signs bill to loosen child labor protections.
Well, because who needs those? Regulation, smegulation. Is that?
Yeah,
Something like that.
It's just like, but what?
Well, we got to get those. There's a right to work ambush in this country. Everyone deserves the right to work, down to the elementary school kids, because how else will they learn what hard work is? Am I coming in too hot?
No.
I sound loud to me.
I'm just shaking my head like, if you're in leadership and you think this way, you're such a failure.
Okay. The news and the views of opinions. How does it go in the beginning?
Disclaimer, talk.
X-ray don't believe in what we say.
You're such a failure, bro. Did you have to be a child in laboring situations to provide for your family? I'm
gonna tell you that Sarah Huckabee Sanders did not have to work in a factory, a farm, or a mine.
And let her tell us she grew up to be a model citizen. So you think this is the path? You know what? We podding too early. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Play me a tune.
I know what's wrong with these people. We're going to catch you guys outside the music break with some of the news, all of the views from me and my fiance.
Good morning, Crystal. Crystal sent us a picture of a very stately,
he looks so
gentle
stately.
fellow. Grandpa Gremlin needs work too. And you know what? Grandpa Gremlin absolutely has a right to work. Why would we?
He has a right to
Why
work.
would we take away
Grims?
Why would we take away that right? You don't need to play all day or lay down. You know, get to work. Get those treats.
Earn those treats.
Earn those treats.
Earn your keep.
You
Earn
know?
those treats.
Also got another text. Sarah Huckabee Sanders equals sad sack Aunt Lydia. Thank you, Phil in Hillsborough.
Shout out to Phil in Hillsborough.
Big agree. It makes me, I thought we were over. I thought we didn't ever have to speak of her again when she was no longer the press secretary.
How foolish of us, right?
Very.
How foolish. We got another text. Finally managed to tune in and got rewarded with this tune. What a vibe.
Ooh.
Going straight to the look up this album.
Yes.
List. Yeah.
Thundercat.
Drunk. Yeah. Thundercat, Drunk. Song's called Them Changes. Great.
So good.
Great
Also,
joint.
watch the video if you get the chance.
Please watch the video. Please watch the video.
Just a fantastic cameo by Quinta Brunson. There's just so much happening in this video.
Oh, wait. I think that's the other video.
Do-rag.
That's Do-Rag.
Is that Do-Rag?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
Do-Rag.
Hold on. Now I'm over here telling lies.
Them Changes has the samurai fight.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it's a really great look into exactly who Thundercat is and what he's about in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
And you're right. I was wrong.
That one?
That one is Dragon Ball Do-Rag.
I couldn't remember what anime it was. Is it something Do-Rag? What is it?
Yeah. Dragon Ball do-rag. Like, treat yourself.
Definitely.
To an incredible video. And song. Don't get me wrong.
It's so good. Oh my God, it brings tears to my eyes. It's so good. I love Dragon Ball do-rag.
I gotta get myself in a better
position.
See
if I got a clean version of that. I will definitely play that on the next break.
I will take it. How about I'll read this story so you can figure out.
Okay.
We're just gonna make it a Thundercat morning. I see zero things wrong with that. All right, everybody, strap in, because the fascist Eric Adams has something to tell you.
You're ready.
He's getting tough on masks, you guys. Okay? New York City Mayor Eric Adams is calling on shop owners to require customers to remove their face masks when entering stores to help cut down on retail crime that has surged since the pandemic. In a radio interview, Adams said, quote, "We are putting out a clear call to all of our shops. Do not allow people to enter the store without taking off their face mask. And then, once they're inside, they can continue to wear it if they so desire." Thank you. That's really nice of you.
What a maroon.
Okay. The measure is necessary to help police officers identify suspects who are evading law enforcement by wearing masks while committing crimes, Adams said. The NYPD is also calling for mask removals at stores. They agree. You know they agree. Adams referred specifically to an incident over the weekend when a person wearing a hazmat suit and a mask, for good measure, robbed, shot, and killed a deli worker on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. Quote, "Let's be clear. Some of these characters going into stores that are wearing their masks, they're not doing it because they're afraid of the pandemic. They're doing it because they're afraid of the police," Adams said in a separate television interview. "We need to stop allowing them to exploit the safety of the pandemic by wearing masks and committing crimes." Is there safety in the pandemic?
I was just like, what are you talking about?
Does he believe there's a pandemic? Is there still a panoramic?
The safety of the Who's writing this guy's stuff?
I'm going to bring it home. I don't know. They don't live in New York, probably just like he don't. Customers were required to wear masks in stores and other public businesses for much of the pandemic until state and city officials relaxed regulations last year. Individual businesses are allowed to impose stricter restrictions on customers if they like. Adams' comments come as the city is touting a decrease in crime year over year, with reported major crimes dropping 5.6%. That, if anybody is wondering, is law and order, criminal intent. That's the major cases, major crimes unit with Gorin and Eames.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So they have been doing an amazing job.
Apparently.
Crime down 5.6%.
Yeah.
In February, 5.6% in February compared with the same month last year. Reported robberies declined 10.5% and burglaries fell 15% during the same period, according to crime statistics released last week by the NYPD. So, Ambush, I ask you this.
Ask me.
The crime number... Eric Adams came in and he said, "I am a tough on crime, top cop.
You're right.
I put my foot down.
Yeah. And I don't pick it up unless it's on the neck of a thief or something.
And I don't get played with."
Hey.
And then he made the crime go down. And it's going down. 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 Why do they need to take their masks? Shouldn't people aren't doing this? There's less of it.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense.
Because they weren't taking their masks off when the crime was falling. Is the crime rising?
What is this in reaction to? What is it? Are you missing it? Here's the thing. You're the mayor of New York. There's a laundry list of things you should be doing.
You're right next to Gotham.
Right. You inherit New York as the greatest city in the world, and you think, I made it. Like, no need to improve on a great thing. There are so many things for you to work on. Instead, you want to create these fake issues and these fake little talking points and these. So now you're putting small business owners in the position to be in combative conversation with their customers
and enforce something that, you know how long it's taken people to come in with the mask on and not be combative?
So you think that's
They
what we
used to, like, how long it took people to be like, okay, I will walk in the store with this mask.
right?
Now take it off, and then you can put it back on, which I don't know, how quickly, you're gonna catch my face, and then I can move forward and put my mask back on.
But what I do know is how quickly you can catch some germs or whatever it is you're trying to protect yourself from
Right.
by wearing a mask in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, so just so I can understand this, he's saying if I walk into a store and I prefer to wear a mask, I need to find the proprietor of that store.
Mm-hmm.
Walk over to that person first, whether they're dealing with a customer or not, who knows? And then I put my mask down. I'm like, hey, it's me. And he's like, okay, cool. And I put my mask back up.
Mm-hmm.
So then if I go commit a crime,
Mm-hmm.
he can then give an accurate description to the police.
Well, if you commit the crime there, they've got you on candid camera now because you took your face mask off for a second. They'll be able to get right to you.
I love all this reactionary justice. It's the only place they seem to want to put it.
Mm.
It's the only place they seem to want to insert justice in the reaction. Where we can fully fund it and overfund it and get all the tools. I was in my training and advisory council meeting last night for PPB, and someone from Cop Watch. I really wish they would stop calling these things tools. This isn't a tool; it's a weapon. Like, stop calling them
Well,
tools.
it certainly sounds better than weapon, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like,
it makes a lot of people that are going to be like, if you just had obeyed, if you had just not resisted, it makes that crowd feel better that, there's a lot of tools on the belt.
Make you feel more useful.
Make
you
you
got those tools.
Got those tools.
Yeah. We are constantly in these back and forths. What was it? A tete-a-tete? What's it called?
I don't know.
Okay.
He had a tear.
I talked to Bree and get my French up. But we're stuck on the side of the conversation, or the side of the equation that's just a reaction. It's like 2 + 2 = 4, and now we're spending 80% of our time discussing, but what is 4? What is 4?
But also, couldn't it be 3?
And in some cases, it's 5, guys. But we're not talking about the first 2 or even the second 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are people committing these crimes? What is missing? If crime is on the, air quotes, if crime is on the rise, what's the causality?
Besides Batman not being there.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Besides that.
Once
that's
Bruce
the
involved,
obvious answer.
Obviously. But yeah. And why aren't we trained? Well, I know why we aren't trained to think about that, but we should be spending a lot more time talking about and arguing and making Instagram accounts focused on the actual resources that need to go to our community instead of shaming people.
Ooh. We do know what content gets engagement, but that's the point.
So poisonous.
It's the gross stuff, and why are you so willing to be like doing the grossest stuff for content when it literally means shaming people in the worst time of their lives?
I was driving home from work the other night, and I came across that Instagram account, which I'm never going to name it. I'm never going to name it.
I'm still getting
You still getting
residuals.
And you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that time in the early 2000s when, a lot of us were just really exploding on the internet and finding content all over the place that we engage with, and we're downloading, we're burning DVDs and all of that stuff? There was a period of time where we all participated. Well, I won't say we all. A great majority of us participated in some really terrible content. And that content was called bum fights.
Oh yeah, that
remember that?
That was ugly business.
Yeah.
Nasty work, as you said.
Nasty work. It went from like the backyard amateur
Right.
MMA fights,
or not even MMA. It was like wrestling.
Yeah.
It was like, and then it moved to
Yeah.
like, oh, we should actually hit each other hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll pay people to do it who don't have homes and want some money.
Yeah. And then it went to watching the most unresourced and underserved people in our community fight on camera for money.
For small amounts of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what these accounts
For entertainment.
For entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what these accounts
And
feel
then,
like.
and then they did filmed a
They
whole
were
bunch of those and then
volumes.
put them on DVDs
Yeah.
and sold them.
With cover art and everything. There were volumes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I'm pretty I'm not going to say. I'm pretty sure you can find it.
Yeah.
That's what
Leave
those
that where
accounts
that lives.
That's
Yeah.
what those accounts remind me of.
No, you're absolutely right. It's exploitation. and on top of the exploitation, there is this, it's creating and lending to the violence that happens when people who, again, we've been talking about this for a minute,
Yeah.
are not actually affected, who don't actually live near an encampment. They don't actually know any houseless neighbors. This isn't the life they live. They just don't like the look of it. Their rhetoric gets violent fast. And I think that
So fast.
people don't really, want to accept that words can be violent and lead to violence. Like, it's just this very individualistic, I'm rubber, you're glue,
Mm-hmm.
sticks and stones.
Yeah.
Except for, how do you think people get radicalized?
There it is.
How do you think that happens? Just not listening to any of the hateful things, not reading any of that. Like, that's what happens.
When you're creating that type of content and you're allowing people to become so angry and so disrespectful and so hateful and to wish violence upon the people that you have in the content, when you're allowing that to happen in your comments,
Yeah.
you don't get to hide your hand later.
Nope.
You don't. When you are putting people's license plates, when you're putting people's faces, when you're putting people's locations,
People's
when you're
IDs.
Instagram people's IDs, and something happens to that, you don't get to later on not be held accountable. So just like, I don't know. I feel like some of you know these accounts. Some of our listeners are well aware because a lot of us watch from the shadows. A lot of us follow, we'll take an account or two and follow it just to keep,
An eye on it.
an eye on what's happening. But like, as much as you can, like, every once in a while, dip in those comments and just look. They take
I
this
know
whole
that-
concerned citizen route,
Mm.
and then you look in those comments and you see nothing but violent rhetoric.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's like, are these the solutions you were looking to garner?
I mean, it's big time, like, just jail, right? And then violence that should happen to them while in jail.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then when you get out, you should know. You should have figured it out. Well, tell me
And also no resources for you when you get out. Just do better.
I had zero resources going in, right? And now I'm in with no resources. And so, I'm not making it. I think that people really don't understand that you're still paying your way in jail. There's stuff you still have to pay for. This is not you're getting 3 meals a day and life is cushy and you don't have to work. And
Right.
I don't even know like how people in 2023 can believe that like jail and prison are vacations.
Oh, I know exactly how. They're actually saying the quiet part out loud. They're revealing their cultural experience. When you have been so insulated from the ills of society, when you've been so insulated, like, you ever had your electric cut off? You ever get shut off notices? You ever not have access to utilities? You ever not have access to housing? Because if that happens to you for a little while, just for a teensy bit, it's world shattering, earth shattering. And it really puts in perspective when you see people who are living on the street, not, a temporary thing, living in their cars. Imagine that. Imagine where you are in your existence, where your complaint is, this family is living in a car on my street. An entire family is living in a car.
You know what, Ambush?
On my street. And I just can't stand it. You troll. You real life troll.
You are, in fact, the Segway King, because you know what?
Give it to me.
When you see a family living in their car, what you should do is think of Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Is everyone in that car
because
working?
she is thinking of you, babe. She's thinking of how can we get this family,
thank you, Sarah,
responsibly off the street and back into a home. I know that it's getting expensive out here. And we can't help inflation, guys. That's just, that's something that's 100% out of our hands. We would not be able to change this if we wanted to.
Even as I'm the governor.
We certainly don't want to. But what we can do is make sure that your child can work right along with you. Because everybody needs a productive kid. Huh? Mm-hmm. Sports be damned. Literature club be damned. Yeah, who needs it? Book club. What do you need?
Come on.
There's work to be done. And then you won't be living in your cars.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Shall I? Shall you?
I will.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has signed a new law that has made it easier for children as young as 6 years old to work in the state. We're not making this up, guys. The controversial move comes after Sanders' recent remarks on child labor laws that sparked nationwide outrage. The new law reduces restrictions on the types of jobs that children under 14 can work and lowers the minimum wage for working in certain industries.
Minimum age, not wage.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Minimum age. Minimum wage. Critics have called the move exploitative and dangerous for children's health and safety, and have argued that it undermines decades of progress in protecting the rights of young workers. Signing this bill right on the heels of the New York Times recently released bombshell investigation into forced migrant child labor in the United States is baffling. According to the report, thousands of migrant children are being forced to work in dangerous and exploitative conditions in the country's agriculture and food processing industries. Many are working long hours in extreme heat without adequate breaks or access to water, and some are being exposed to toxic chemicals and pesticides. The report also details how children as young as 6 are being forced to work in fields and factories across the country, often for little or no pay. Many are suffering from injuries and illness as a result of their work, and some have even died on the job. The revelations in this industry are deeply disturbing, and they underscore the urgent need for stronger protections for migrant workers and greater accountability for employers who violate labor laws. However, some conservative lawmakers and business groups have pushed for looser restrictions on child labor in recent years, arguing that they are overly restrictive and prevent young people from learning valuable job skills. Like, don't get your hands stuck in that crimper. Governor Sanders has defended the new law, stating that it will help to promote a strong work ethic and provide valuable learning experiences for young people. However, many remain concerned that the law will expose children to dangerous working conditions and prevent them from getting an education. This controversial move has drawn sharp criticism from across the country and has brought renewed attention to the issue of child labor in America. You know the future that I wanted as a child?
What is it?
One where I didn't have to work because robots were doing everything.
But that was, and it looked like it might be possible.
Yeah.
We were sold a bill of goods, a bill of robot part goods.
I mean, shout out to the Jetsons. They got the timeline totally wrong.
Man, they did.
As did Back to the Future. But anyways, I feel like these conservatives, if they could, would have these 6-year-olds swinging pickaxes in coal mines.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Ambush, they have a right to work. I do not understand what you're missing here.
why?
Idle hands, sir.
Oh, devil's hand anywhere. It's true. Why is this? And I know you know the answer to this, so I'm asking because I know you'll have it.
No,
Why is
no
this image of American grit and exceptionalism and know-how and progress tied to these industries that have us moving backward, destroying our ecosystem? Like, what is happening?
I want a soundboard that has like a really fun jingle that just yells capitalism at us. That's what I want. Yeah, we need a jingle.
Okay.
Any jingle makers out there?
Oh, we gotta hit Lily. She knows. She's a jingle maker.
This is really my fault.
Yeah.
I didn't want to add more to her plate, but if you want something, you go to the best.
Go to the best. Go to Lowe's.
Anyway, yeah, we're in a. Can you say hellscape on the radio? I mean, this is wild. And why do you see pickaxes with labor in your mind? Why do you envision that? Because that is exactly what Sarah would like to see.
Right.
I guarantee you her children are never going to be out there in no field, right? They're not going to be on a farm. They're not going to have to do any of the just not going to happen.
How else will they learn, Sarah, if you don't let them get out there?
Well, what they're going to learn is how to be an overseer.
Oh.
Valuable lessons for valuable people.
No, that was nice. That was bars. That was bars. You brought Jen back. Bars.
I mean, okay. We got Rudo throws me off, but in like the best way. So I'm sorry for anybody listening who's like, geez, Morgan, why are you spitting into the microphone right now? And you blame Rudo. He says, I'm learning so much this morning. I guess every day really is Black History Month. Ravishing Jack Rudo.
Rudo, go back to bed.
You're right. It is. Every day. American history is Black history. Vice versa. Sarah's doing a lot. And I want to know what money, she gets from this. Where's the pipeline back to, what's the kickback? How come we're talking about kids? There's so much happening. There's so much happening where protections of children is just like not real. We know that they are unserious when they say they're grooming the children.
Oh,
right. We need to save those kids from those drag brunches. And I don't know.
whatever else we've cooked up.
Whatever, I don't like to take my kids to the library, so don't do it. But you should probably think about getting them to work, guys. If you can't afford that 2-bedroom apartment, why don't you put that kid to work? Everybody should, all hands on deck.
I am concerned about what books my child will have access to in the library. Go to the library with your kid.
In the library that they can't go to because they are going to go to work instead?
Or the library they can't get into because you tell them not to wear a mask?
Or the library they can't get into because there might be a school shooter in it?
Or the library they can't get into because you're getting libraries closed?
Or the library that no longer has books because you burned them?
Which library is it? Have it your way. Is that Burger King? Who has it your way? Who's doing that?
I think so. I don't know.
King of Burgers.
We need a new timeline, please. Like,
let's go to the TVA and request it.
Yes.
New time. Oh, I love that. That's a good graphic. New timeline request.
I gotta get out of here.
Get your TPS report in. We need a new timeline.
I was upset with the timeline when she became the governor. How did that even happen?
How?
Arkansas.
How?
What's happening over there? I really thought I got to be done with her after she quit being the press secretary. I was like, fantastic. Go live your Huckabee Sanders life to the fullest.
To the fullest,
you know?
man.
Go run around with your kids before you make them go to work.
I thought legit the most we were going to get after her White House stint was some books, Dancing with the Stars, maybe a TV show on the Blaze. I didn't want this governorship.
Fair.
I didn't like.
Well, but she's a serious person, you know, coming from a legacy of great Republican politician. Yeah, that's singular. I want to hear Dragon Ball Do-Rag.
I'm sorry, I have to veto you.
Wow.
And yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry. We're talking child labor.
So we have to get right into it because we have to also make space for Dragon Ball Do-Rag.
Yes.
These are the important things on News with My Fiance.
Yeah.
Sometimes the music is more important.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I'm tired of talking about Ted Wheeler anyway, you know?
So let's talk about
How have we not recalled him? I'm still mad about it.
Yeah,
Somebody better, we got some explaining
to
to
do. That
do.
didn't go too well. Is it too late? Is it too far into the...
It's too far. We done already got Renee, so it's all problems.
Oh.
It's all... Looking at you, Mingus. Should we do the police or Dan Ryan?
Let's do Dan.
Okay.
Let's do Daniel.
Lisa Watson, who has led the Office of Equity and Human Rights since May 2022, announced her resignation in a letter to staff last Thursday, citing incompatibility with the newly appointed commissioner overseeing the Bureau, Dan Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Watson wrote, quote, "It is time for me to move on and for the commissioner to find a director who is able to effectively and efficiently move his vision forward." She reiterated her concern in her resignation letter sent directly to Ryan, stating that the new structure is not a fit for her leadership style. Under Portland's commission form of government, city council members serve as both legislatures and day-to-day administrators over a portfolio of city agencies. The mayor decides which bureaus commissioners will lead, and Ryan was appointed to oversee Watson's bureau in January, accompanied by the direction from Wheeler for Ryan to conduct an organizational assessment on the effectiveness of the Office of Equity and Human Rights within 90 days. Ryan was given similar direction in his new oversight of the Office of Community and Civic Life, the city agency that handles neighborhood issues. The interim director of that bureau, Michael Montoya, announced a temporary leave of absence several hours before Watson's resignation on Thursday. Watson will not receive severance pay from the city. Ryan's chief of staff, Kelly Torres, said that his office will announce an interim leadership plan for the Office of Equity and Human Rights this week. Watson, a Grand Ronde tribal member, expressed regret in having to step down in her letter to bureau staff, saying that she wanted nothing more than to continue to support their incredible work. The sudden resignation of the director of the Office of Equity and Human Rights has shocked some, but not all. There's a reminder that Dan Ryan's former senior policy advisor resigned hours before Ryan and Wheeler unveiled their plan to mass encampments as homes for houseless folks.
Yeah, houseless solution.
That's what it's called, a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Salute.
Mm-hmm.
With some shuns.
You know, here's the thing that really, really bothers me. When you are able to get someone with steeped knowledge, such as an indigenous woman from this area, and you make it impossible for that woman to do the job that she is supposed to do, and then I'm interested to see who replaces. Because, and I'm also interested, no, I'm not interested. I am not interested in Dan Ryan's assessment of the effectiveness of equity and human rights. I'm not interested. Because I don't know what you know about human rights. I don't know what you think. I don't know who you think deserves them. I don't know what you think equity looks like.
He gave us a clear indication of what he thinks about human rights in his last position as someone who's supposed to be handling housing. You know, when we had this housing crisis explode.
Jail.
Yeah, so we know exactly what he thinks about human rights.
You're unqualified, and you're not trying to become qualified. Anybody who thinks that they can skirt all of the equity issues and then be the person who tells you what they are? No. That's sounding a lot like something else I have a big issue with, and that is, people who do not experience the racism telling you what the racism is. Oh, well, that wasn't racist because I didn't mean it that way.
There's just, I don't know, man. To be able to move in such a way where you're not even concerned about the optics is so strange. It's
no, it's just foreign to someone like you, and someone like me.
Yeah, divorced from that reality. I was like, whoa,
because you would not be able to move that way.
Can't do anything without optics being primary.
Definitely a concern.
Yeah. So to see multiple resignations, and then again, as you so clearly pointed out, this is an indigenous woman that took the time and consideration to perform this duty, feeling as though they cannot. I mean, here's the thing, right? Because this is where I am again. Optics, purely in optics. Why? How did we get to this point where? What were the conversations? What were the barriers? What were the slam doors where it was just, I hear what you're saying. I don't really care what you're saying. So best thing for you to do is skedaddle. Or
I don't believe what you're saying. And I can tell you, as a person who was put on the equity, diversity, and inclusion task force or whatever in a previous role, you know immediately when it's performative. You have asked people who do have the lived experience, but you do not want to believe their lived experience because it puts yours in jeopardy, your view of it. And obviously, fiancés don't mean you.
Of course.
I mean the person making this move. And when the performance is the important part, the rest doesn't really matter. It doesn't. The optics don't matter all the way because I did the part that you guys told me to. I read your stupid book.
Now leave me alone.
Now leave me alone. I did that thing is here. You guys talk every Tuesday. You know? This is a whole department that is supposed to be doing something. And if you are obstructing instead of making ways for equity to actually be a part of the conversation.
Right.
But if your job is to obstruct, he is doing a fantastic job.
Nailing it.
And when you find yourself agreeing with someone who does this kind of dastardly stuff, I just want you to sit back and think, is this where I want to be? Do I think this is the best way forward?
You know what's interesting about those people that find themselves agreeing with this type of politic? They're not even aware of it. They agreed and signed up for this particular personality, but are completely unaware of the actual steps that they're taking, the moves that they're making. Because then when you bring those moves up, it's like, oh, well, I didn't know
they didn't do that. Oh, I actually was talking about this yesterday. How people leave once campaign is over.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not just the back to brunch. They've all also bought completely into whoever that person was during the campaign.
Yeah.
And because they believe they know who that person is, they believe they know what that person will do. And when something goes a different way, they don't even know because they've quit paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, what do I need to care about this for? He's already there. Or they're already there. We voted him in. We're good now, right?
And then they get this posture of, well, it's really interesting. They get this posture of, well, I was there during the campaign. I really know what's in this person's heart. And
you know what's in that person's actions?
I liken it. And you can be like, Ambush, how'd you get here? I liken it to critics of fantasy. We had a Star Wars situation.
Oh my God.
Not too long ago. This is what happens in the critic world. Okay. The production companies,
Fiancés, I want better for y'all.
they leak different plot lines from the movies as they're producing them. You get little behind the scenes photos, and then you get these content creators that are like, this is my theory. And then when it happens in the film, it's like, it was so predictable. They literally, they dosed you with what they were going to do in the film. You convince yourself that you figured something out, and then you're disappointed with the outcome because you predicted it.
Yikes.
They're playing in our faces all the time. There were so many things that were happening during Renee's campaign specifically. There were so many facts. So I won't say facts. So many pseudo facts that were thrown out there that were easily refutable. So many contradictions in his proposed policies, who he was and who he isn't, and what he stands for, and all. So many contradictions that for anyone to say, well, I know what's in his heart. Look at these actions. Look at these actions, please, because what you were told during the campaign is what he wanted you to hear, and that goes for everyone during the campaign. They're trying to get your support, and then once they are in office, get out of the way, please. No commentary. Can we have this person escorted from the city council meeting, please? Because they're a little loud.
You know what? Actually, just surround that person and get violent.
They want to talk back to me about things that I've done.
And I don't like that.
I don't want to hear from the people. I need the people to hear me.
Sounds about yesterday to me.
Oh.
Also sounds about last week.
It does. It does. I mean, what does it say about leadership when you're making a point to ignore, disregard, and attack people, citizens of your city that are bringing the same issue to you over and over again? What would it look like if you actually just had the conversation instead of kicking the can down the road? And for anyone that's in the dark, what we're talking about at this particular point, this particular juncture, is the ban that Renee Gonzalez has placed on Portland Street Response, right? So they can't pass out blankets and tents?
Correct. Well, tents and tarps.
Tents and tarps. And citizens are upset.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. This happened right before that was it,
an
wintry mix and the ice storm? And,
actual snowstorm.
Actual snowstorm. Happened right before that. Like, again, the solution, quote, air quotes, your solution is on the reactionary side of things. Speak to the causality. And if your civic leaders can't tell you why we're here and how they want to fix things on the why side of things, please, we're not doing this with you. Like, we're not playing. Don't stop playing with us. Stop playing with us. But that blatant disregard for, the voice of citizens is wild.
Yeah. I don't know how, well, I do know, because I don't think a lot of people, there's not a lot of people there. It's city council meetings get eyes on it, but not enough. And again, our civic engagement goes way down after an election.
Yeah.
Even the people that are, all thumbs all day long with all of the feelings and observations. Once the campaign cycle is over, they're just still there with their observations. not paying attention to what's being done or isn't being done. You know, we got to get the civic engagement up.
We have to.
Big time.
We have to. This is our year.
It's
2023.
It's our time.
It's our time.
Get ready for
For the
2024.
there it is.
Ambush, I don't know if you know this, but this is not on our document, but Mitch McConnell fell yesterday. He tripped and he fell, and he's in the hospital now.
So, when you make spaghetti, the sauce, what do you add to it? Sometimes I go with a smoky barbecue that has a sweet to it. You know? It adds to it.
It definitely does.
You know, shout out to, one of my high school homies. Their parents put me onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Wallace. Shout out Miss Wallace. Yeah. I've been told if you don't have anything nice to say,
you just
discuss
move forward.
cooking.
Discuss cooking.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's told you that.
Oh, yeah. I've been told.
Oh, okay. I don't believe you.
Okay.
But you know what I do believe?
What?
Mitch McConnell is 81 years old.
Huh.
And so maybe he shouldn't be at work.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Hey, Sarah Huckabee said people should be working
at 6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to 96. So
well,
get your work on.
Chuck Grassley is 89. Dianne Feinstein is 89. Why do they still have jobs?
Who runs their Twitters?
Why do they still have jobs?
Who runs their TikToks?
Why are we okay with Mom and Pop working so late into their... I mean, this is really just proof that the American dream is a lie. You are rich and still have to work well into your 80s, something's wrong.
You know how bad you have to be at leadership that you haven't brought in someone to replace you. You haven't trained someone up in the ways.
That is
so you can move on and be like, guidance to them. This is a Emperor Palpatine situation. You know?
My God.
You just...
How did we get here?
To the bitter end, it's still you, right? Still you. Vader wasn't good. Kylo wasn't good. It's still you. It's just, no one knows better than me. Cut it out. Again, who's running their TikToks?
Do you say TikToks?
TikToks. Who's running your TikToks?
I want someone to not be running anything for them except for groceries.
Yeah. Real talk. Real talk.
Cleaning supplies for their cleaning person.
Yeah.
Because they ain't like, you're not supposed to be doing anything.
You're really supposed to be chilling, bro.
You're supposed to be chilling. That is, I certainly don't, listen, I am not ageist in any way. What I want is for people to be able to enjoy some parts of their lives. And under the systems that we live under today, you're not getting a whole lot of quiet time or getting to decide how you spend your day. You're not supposed to be working in your 80s. That's not a success story.
Right.
That's not and honestly, they would not be working anywhere else. They would not be in charge anywhere else. I guess maybe let me say that.
Right.
Maybe you can, maybe you're greeting somewhere or you're, doing something part-time to keep moving. Keep
yourself busy.
Keep those knees, sturdy.
You're certainly not leading the nation.
But you're not leading, you're not
creating policy. You're
not leading the morning meeting. So like, what are we doing that you guys get to stay in? I cannot understand the people that are voting for these folks, honestly, but like why are you even on the ballot? You're supposed to be retired a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's the inability to let go of control and power for me.
Yep.
And it really should immediately tell you something about a person who has been in that position for so long and done none of the things that they said they would, but somehow need to still be there.
Right.
Well, some of them have done the things they said they would. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunate. But yeah, okay. I guess we better move forward to our last story before it...
Also unfortunate. Police conduct anti-shoplifting sting in Northeast Portland. Some Portlanders are scratching their heads with the Portland police recently purchasing 2 planes and 144 new vehicles. I am scratching my head. While benefiting from false claims that they've been defunded, are unable to make arrests.
I mean, we just don't have enough men in the street to be able to make those arrests.
Then why, if you don't have enough men in the street, who are these pilots for these vehicles? And why do we need 144 new cars?
Well, I mean, keep telling the news. Maybe you'll...
All right. The operation was conducted at the Gateway and 205 malls in Northeast Portland, where officers made arrests for outstanding warrants, car thefts, and more. During the operation, officers were able to recover a stolen car that was spotted by its owner. The car was chased down from a McDonald's on Southeast Powell Boulevard to the corner of Northeast 92nd Boulevard and Northeast
Schuyler
Street, where the man inside the car was arrested. These missions to crack down on petty crime have been successful in the past, with a similar mission in February leading to 40 arrests, 60 warrants served, and the recovery of more than $2,000 of stolen merchandise. A 2-day mission in December of 2022 led to 64 arrests, 70 warrants serviced, and the recovery of 10 stolen vehicles, 3 firearms, and nearly $9,000 in stolen merchandise.
2-day mission.
According to Jordan Zates, a member of Portland Police Neighborhood Response Team, shoplifting can be connected to other crimes, such as drug issues and stolen vehicles. She also said that many people arrested during these missions are repeat offenders, and each incident of shoplifting can have a larger impact on the city, with big retailers leaving the area. Police said their retail theft missions send a message that they're cracking down on all crime, no matter if it's shoplifting or stealing cars. They hope to get people, the help they need and hold them accountable for their actions.
Okay, so wait, Ambush, So the Portland police set out to do a shoplifting sting, and what I'm hearing is they found a car, or no, they followed up on a stolen car that the person found on their own.
There we go.
And they served some warrants without giving us an understanding of how those were served. And then they also just ate hot chip, or... Because what are you talking about? What do you mean a retail theft sting bling ring resulted in warrants and a stolen car that the owner found? What do y'all do? You don't solve, you don't stop, like, you don't even go and get the right crime? Fam,
Yeah, not.
it's your own mission is to find shoplifters, but you ain't inside a place where people shoplift, or what? You went to Mall 205 and sat outside? Were y'all just at Red Robin looking out the window? I need help. Because you spending $70,000 on per vehicle so that you can, get into a hot pursuit, which none of y'all should be able to do anyway.
I'm sorry, did you say $70,000 per vehicle?
Yeah.
I'm going to do quick maths on my phone.
Well, I can just tell you.
Oh.
The police spent over $10 million on 144 new vehicles. They each one cost about $70,000. And they got some new features. And they're solid black. And they got names of, fallen soldiers, or officers or whatever. And they can go in hot pursuit. There's pursuit related, or it's pursuit rated.
Not pursuit rated.
Yeah, it's ready. A Ford Intercept. You want to tell me more about a $70,000 fixed or repaired daily? Do you want to talk more about that? Nobody?
$10 million is what you said?
I did.
144 new vehicles.
I did.
At 70 cage.
Yep.
Listen, just remember that. just that. We'll run it down again.
Well, wait.
144 new vehicles.
They are all-wheel drive.
Okay, for the snows.
Okay.
Yes, 144 new vehicles, 70 grand each, $10 million. I need you guys to
defund it.
Yeah, get that stamped in your head anytime someone wants to talk about the police being defunded. Well, they just spent $10 million on vehicles, not counting the 2 planes, just their cars,
just to cars,
SUVs, whatever else they're driving around.
I mean, they are SUVs, to be clear. Again, they are hybrid. You know, we can charge them up, and then you can get in hot pursuit. They can get right on your tail, right on it.
I need them to do some cold pursuits.
That'd be cool.
Lukewarm pursuits.
Well, what they've been doing is closing their eyes and saying they don't have the right to work, and lying and saying that, you know, they've been defunded when, well, looky here, friends. They out here spending for people who ain't got no money.
So what does it mean when you're in conversation with someone or debate, whether it's online or whatever, and they're like, well, the police are being defunded, and you know, one, this is the largest budget they've had,
mm-hmm.
and you know what they just spent all this money on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that this person isn't aware of that, making them unqualified for the conversation? Or is it that they just don't care because the solution that they're looking for involves more police activity? And they think in order for them to get more police activity, it's throw more money at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, the thing is when people are arguing with you and say something like the police were defunded, so what do you expect them to do? They are unserious and they are not paying attention to what's going on. So we know that people don't go back to, you know, an issue, because if the answer that they got or the, you know, thing that happened confirms their bias, they're not going back to it to make sure that it's either still true or was ever true, or, you know what I mean? So police got defunded. What was happening there? Money was going to be allocated elsewhere. And then in many places, that money was never allocated elsewhere.
Right.
And then people said things like, look, that's not working because we took the money from the police and gave it to these people, but they didn't. And you do have to pay attention to understand where, if any money was taken away, where did it go?
And how it was replenished.
Right.
Yeah. Because
and then before you even get to the step of, oh, they took it back and gave it back to them.
Right. Times three, and said, oh, we tax us, because what we shouldn't have done was take that away from you in the first place. Your budget was never actually affected. No. They
in the way that they lost anything, but they sure did sit on their hands for a while, didn't they?
Oh, man. Protesting.
Telling you that they could not do anything. Oh, sorry. We don't even have enough people to pick up the phone over here.
But give us 144 new cars because we like them. They definitely tried to, they were continuously targeting Joanne Hardesty. But I've seen it mentioned in conversation about, the $1 million that they blame her for defunding the police.
Yes.
And what I'm aware
certainly
of is the $1 million that went to community-based organizations. One, they just spent 10 on vehicles. So I don't like.
Well, but you understand that any money that was taken away, they could have also had that for more tools.
11 for vehicles instead of just the 10. I get it now. How did I miss that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to keep track of. I'm sad for us when you cannot explain to why in the world does the Portland police need 2 planes? Explain.
Yo, 2 planes. 2 planes.
There wasn't enough controversy with the first plane. We weren't like, hey guys, wait a minute. What are we doing with those?
I saw someone tweet like, we don't have money for more street lights, but for a second plane.
And this is what I'm talking about. streetlights, potholes, nothing for that.
No.
It can be dark. I'm telling you, my tires are just continuously getting flat because
Chewed up.
just chewed, because the holes in the ground are enormous. Mingus said that everyone would be filled, and I'm wondering where they're starting. I don't think it's where they said it would start.
No, not at all. Not in the least.
I want answers. Why would it make sense? Every single person who okays the we'll buy you guys are doing great with your budget. We'll give you more money because you need more of the same thing, or you need military grade things, or you need planes. I'm not understanding why you need more than one plane. I don't even understand why they need a plane.
I don't understand why they need the first one.
But to get an extra one in real life, that's a backup.
They got choppers. What you need a plane for?
Cannot understand.
What are you doing with this plane? What y'all doing with this spy plane?
Going to Epstein Island. Anyway.
Oh.
Is it still called that?
What's the justification for the second one? Y'all, they are throwing money away. They're throwing money away. You cannot say that the police are under-resourced in any shape, form, or fashion. You can't. There are too many vacant spots. Because here's the thing. In reaction to crime, PBB will tell you, we just don't have enough people on the street. We don't have enough officers to solve crime right now. We just don't have enough. Not that they don't have a budget to hire. People are reluctant to take the job. So are you enticing them? Well, look, now we have 2 planes. You want to work with us? Oh, hey, if you join now, you'll get a bonus and a brand new car. What? That's the signing bonus, the signing package there?
Listen.
And they still can't get enough people to sign up and make it through the academy to join the ranks.
Well, they did just drop a few new ones. They just swore in 6-7 officers the other day.
Cool.
My favorite was seeing that tweeted out as the new domestic terrorist pack just dropped, and I laughed and laughed. Shout out to Malcolm, our fiance.
Hey.
Good morning, Malcolm. He said they got money for planes and pursuits, but not for parks and people, and that is it.
Exactly.
Thank you for summarizing our entire last, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Someone also was like, hot shit. Yeah, man.
Nah, for real, that's it. And you can't really, if you actually care about any of these things, you have to know that giving the police this much money when the police are not being, are not de-escalators, they are not helpful, they are much more harmful to the community than, anybody would have you believe that wants to continue to fund them. But even for the folks that do want to see, a police person in a new car on every corner.
Right.
Don't you also want to be able to take your dog for a walk without being in the complete and total dark? Or your kids to a park, or, yourself to a park? Don't you want the city to be livable? If you are going to complain about the things that are happening, we need you to know why they are happening.
And also what they are.
What they are. And so that you don't divert. Don't be an obstructionist in the way of having super vague conversations or, but don't the police help? Well, isn't it a bad thing that Walmart is leaving? None of these things. You've got to know more.
Do not allow yourself to become a tool of capitalism.
There we go. Thank you.
Just don't. Like, the people that are pushing this down your throat that the police have been defunded know it's a lie.
They're lying, and they know they're lying.
They know it. You may be misinformed, ill-informed, uninformed. They're not. They're not. So focus on where your information is coming from. Focus on these people and these groups and these civic leaders that are lying to you, and figure out why. And I swear, you can bet your bottom dollar there's some capitalism laid right up in there.
Little white supremacy, huh?
Little, you know, you got to stir that in.
Add in a little patriarchy too, guys. They all have to, hand in hand here.
It's always fun.
Always.
Yeah, that's the relation. This is My Fiance. Today's show made possible by Murphy Joe's and DJ Ambush and our podcast editor, Kyle G. Shout out to everybody that came through with the text. We love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. And hey, man, don't forget, don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.